Hey everybody, I'm Gary Palmer Jr., you're you, and together we are Minting Coins, your trusted source for news, interviews, and ICO reviews. If you're new or not, hit that like button because it encourages us and it helps other people find this content. And if you have any questions or comments, then leave them in the comments box below so your voice is heard as part of the community. In today's episode, we're going to be speeding through what's going on today, what are we noticing, what do we want to share with you, what's happening in the market, and what's happening all around us. So with that being said, let's dive right into the market and let's discuss. Starting over here at coinmarketcap.com, living in a world with over 1,495 different cryptocurrencies, the total market capitalization today is about $573 billion, over $500 billion total market capitalization, all the money inside all the cryptocurrencies that are being tracked right now. So 33.4% of the total market capitalization is surrounded and encapsulates inside of Bitcoin, which is $191 billion. And so a lot of people are wondering, is this a high, is this a low, is this a middle point in terms of a BTC price? Well, nobody knows. What we do know is that we can look at the past and we see that the price of Bitcoin goes up, the price of the Bitcoin goes down, and the points when Bitcoin goes down, the points that items go down in the market is called the dip. And the dips are what we like. The dips are what we like to buy. And the dips are always a better time to get into any sort of industry or idea or assets, I suppose, as opposed to getting inside that industry or that idea or that asset at the all-time high when there's already peak interest and peak investment. And then as we saw with Bitcoin, a lot of people purchased Bitcoin at the all-time high of $20,000. The price has gone down since then because $20,000 was not the dip at that point in time. That was the all-time high. Right now, we could be sitting in the Bitcoin dip. And so we could see Bitcoin over time over here, the all-time high over the past year, around $20,000 in the middle of December, and progressively going down into the beginning of the year as we see as a normal trend year after year over the past 9 years. If we move into the percentage of total market capitalization, the Bitcoin BTC dominance, we can see that the BTC dominance was pretty steady all the way into the very early 2017, less than a year ago. And then what happened with the explosion of Ethereum and the explosion of a lot of application development, the ENS name system, ICOs, tokenization of a lot of different projects out there using the Ethereum blockchain, we see that the Bitcoin dominance decreased while the Ethereum dominance had increased. But then Bitcoin took over some of its dominance again, and now the price is dipping down and we see alternative currencies increasing up. Well, we also have the Lightning Network in the horizon. We have the Lightning Network active. We have the Lightning Network that is already facilitating cheaper payments, quicker payments, and payments on the Bitcoin blockchain with all sorts of additional benefits. The dip won't last forever. Consider buying the dip. So maybe you heard about the recent hack from Coincheck. There was this Coincheck hack that is the largest hack, or the second largest hack in the history of the world, perhaps the largest hack in terms of cryptocurrencies. Over $500 million hacked from NEM tokens and Tether tokens maybe. But it's just really interesting. We want to bring this to your attention that the Coincheck hack may lead to on-site inspections of other Japanese exchanges. So just keep in mind that if there's hacks with the exchanges, if there's issues with the exchanges, that could give a piercing in the corporate way of doing business for some of these exchanges, where it gives an opening for lawmakers and regulatory bodies to inspect the cryptocurrency exchanges, to create rules, to create regulations, to create laws around cryptocurrency exchanges based on news that happens. And so this hack with CoinCheck could lead to other new rules being implemented in Japan. And then we could see if there's an issue with a worldwide exchange, or if there's an issue with an American exchange, that could create an opening for those exchanges to have new regulations, new inspections, or new laws for their business operations. So keeping on the CoinCheck hack news for a second, CoinCheck, the exchange, they're going to be partially reimbursing customers, and NEM, the cryptocurrency that was mainly stolen, they're not going to hard fork the blockchain to take the funds away from the hackers. CoinCheck has said that they intend to partially reimburse the 260,000 customers who lost funds as a result of the hack, and that they're going to pay out 46.3 billion yen at the exchange rate of 88.549 yen per XEM, which is roughly a 20% decrease from the estimated 58 billion yen worth of funds that were actually stolen. Now, I suppose what's most upsetting, or what's bringing the most clarity to the cryptocurrency industry, is the fact that not only is NEM saying that they're not going to hard fork to remove the stolen funds, but that it's going to instead create an automated system that will follow and tag the stolen XEM tokens, so that the exchanges and other currency converters will be able to identify them and refuse service to the hacker. Now, NEM might think that this is really cool, and the exchanges might be really happy that there's this centralized authority that can just tag all the money and prevent people from being able to spend the money. But NEM might not realize that this is actually a huge issue. We have this tweet coming over here from the Bitcoin Tokyo Sumo Coin that says that the NEM developers have decided to centrally enforce certain actions on their blockchain, and that they're going to mark them illicit, and that they're going to announce that they're going to taint these stolen coins. And so this is going to essentially prove that altcoins are crap coins. If there's this coin that's just people can tag and people can stop you from using, then that really takes away from the value of that coin. That really takes away from decentralized aspects of that technology, the decentralized aspect that gives Bitcoin the enormous value that it has. Why does Bitcoin have value? Bitcoin has value because of the mining involved. Bitcoin has value because of the mathematics involved. Bitcoin has value because of the neutrality involved. And Bitcoin has a value, most importantly, all of those reasons are supported by the fact that Bitcoin has wide decentralization, and that there's no one person or company in control. And with further technology like the Lightning Network, every single coin will be essentially the same as every other coin in the future. Right now, that all the coins, they're not exactly different. We want them to be fungible. We want every single Bitcoin to be just like every single other Bitcoin, without any Bitcoin having a history. Just like dollars, there's not necessarily a history behind the dollars that are being spent, unless, of course, that dollar and the serial numbers on those dollars are tainted or marked for whatever reason, that they got flagged, right? And so Bitcoin is moving into the direction of further decentralization. NEM has shown themselves to be a centralized token coin that the developers can just say who can use it and who can't use it. And if they can say that here, then what's to stop them from saying it under circumstances that aren't so malice? In other news of other crap coins that are really freaking people out, we have Tether, and we have an announcement that Tether's auditor are dissolving their relationship. So reports have surfaced last Saturday night that Tether and their auditor, Friedman LLP, have dissolved their relationship. Due to the weekend, independent confirmations have not been received. Calls to Friedman LLP have gone to voicemail. This is not looking good, and this is really removing the transparency. It's showing that perhaps there was never really any transparency there to begin with. And if we thought there was transparency and it turns out that there's not transparency, well, maybe actually there's a little bit of lies and manipulation. The auditors, as far as I had seen, have never truly released an actual audit, and now we're finding out that the auditors wanting to distance themselves and prevent them being caught up with a class action lawsuit like BitConnect just got hit with. They're dissolving the relationship and walking away, probably because Tether isn't taking the advice or giving the deliverables that the accounting firm is looking for. So let's take a quick peek at this quote that's actually issued from Tether to the cryptocurrency exchanges about the situation. And so Tether goes on to say that Friedman LLP is engaged in performing historical balance sheet audit procedures for Tether Limited. However, as the amount of Tethers in circulation has increased substantially in recent months, they've asked Friedman to analyze their bank balances and their issued and outstanding token balances on an interim basis. And this quote concludes with Tether saying that these consulting services do not constitute as an audit or an attestation engagement, which would include a significantly expanded scope of procedures and take substantially more time to complete. So it's really interesting that Tether claims to be a one-on-one basis of Tether tokens to US dollars, but the speculation continues to loom, and it creates huge risk for the holders of Tether. It creates huge risk throughout the repercussions of the entire cryptocurrency industry, and could consequently cause the Bitcoin price to increase as people seek to unload their Tether tokens into either Bitcoin specifically or other projects. Then again, who knows how this could play out, but it doesn't look good for Tether. In other very interesting news, interesting developments in the cryptocurrency space, we have a possible integration between Litecoin and Monero, of all coins. And so we have steps getting closer to a merger, with the developers creating atomic swaps, allowing people to decentrally exchange Monero for Litecoin across their independent blockchains. So Charlie Lee admitted his ambition to work with Monero in a series of tweets that he posted, claiming that Litecoin's liquidity would be a great fit for Monero's anonymity and fungibility. Ricardo Fluffy Blockchain Fluffy Pony Spangy said that in a tweet that he had a productive few days, finally got to sit down with Charlie Lee and talk about a merger between Litecoin Enterprise Alliance and Monero Enterprise Alliance, which they would call the LAMEA. But then we have some tweets from Charlie Lee that make it more interesting, that say, although Fluffy Pony was kidding here, I think it would be good for Litecoin and Monero, two of the top non-scam coins, to work together. A while back, I proposed to him that we work on making it easier for people to do on-chain atomic swaps of LTC and XMR in a decentralized way. Charlie Lee goes on to say that he believes this to be a win-win, as it makes LTC XMR interoperable, gives XMR users access to Litecoin's liquidity, since Litecoin is on almost every single exchange out there, and it gives Litecoin users easy access to the anonymity and fungibility of Monero. And of course, this would take a lot of work. The community would have to agree, the devs everywhere would have to agree, but he does outline a lot of reasons why this could create a huge opportunity for both Monero users and Litecoin users across the world. As Bitcoin is getting more interesting across the world, we have more countries that have to talk about Bitcoin and have to face the facts that Bitcoin and blockchain technology is encapsulating the world. It's infiltrating every aspect of our society. Countries, regulators, central banks don't want to hear this because they're interested in making their fiat crypto the main crypto of the future, right? They want the fiat dollar of their country to continue being the dominant form of payments inside their country, since that's how they maintain control and order over the economy and the society of those countries. Well, in the UK Prime Minister Theresa May said that they're going to be looking into Bitcoin very seriously. And so Theresa May is discussing a possible clampdown on the technology companies like Facebook and Google for not living up to their social responsibilities. And then this pivoted into talking about cryptocurrencies. And so Theresa May responded about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, saying that in areas like cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, we should be looking at these very seriously, precisely because of the way that they could be used, particularly by criminals. You know, criminals use fiat, criminals prefer fiat over crypto. There's study after study that has come out that has said that, because Bitcoin is very easy to trace still at this point of time. But nevertheless, this is something that's developing. This is something that they're going to continue paying more and more attention into. And they're suggesting that the government is going to be keeping tabs on cryptocurrency activity in the future and moving forward. It's going to be really interesting to see if they create their own digital currency, knowing that digital currencies are going to be a huge part of our financial future moving forward. We know the UK has talked about creating a crypto pounds sterling. Each country is talking about making a crypto version of their country's fiat cryptocurrency, and that's going to allow that fiat crypto to compete with Bitcoin. But long term, is Bitcoin just going to gobble up all of these other digital currencies that get created out there? Moving back into America, the SEC, the Securities and Exchange Committee, as well as the CFTC chief, eyes a closer eye on crypto and crypto scrutiny. Both the Securities and Exchange Commission and the Commodities and Futures Trading Commission have voiced that they are devoting a significant portion of resources to monitoring the industry. The SEC is devoting a significant portion of its resources to the ICO market. Market participants, including lawyers, trading venues, and financial service firms, should be aware that we are disturbed by the many examples of form being elevated over substance, with the form-based arguments depriving investors of mandatory protections. In addition, these chiefs are also voiced support in the article for policies that seek to review existing laws to ensure that they can efficiently regulate activities pertaining to cryptocurrencies. They want to change the laws, amend the laws and the definitions to include the new technologies, the new financial technology, the new structures that are being formed around cryptocurrency, so that they could seek to regulate the activities inside the cryptocurrency market. Why? Because they recognize they're not going to be able to regulate the cryptocurrency or the blockchain itself. They will be able to regulate the activity of the citizens of their nations. The regulators go on to conclude, many of the internet-based cryptocurrency trading platforms have registered as payment services and are not subject to direct oversight by the SEC or the CFTC. We would support policy efforts to revise these frameworks and ensure that they are effective and efficient in the digital era. So what does this mean? Expect a lot more regulation in America and across the world as governments and the regulators seek to control Bitcoin and expand their own fiat currencies. By doing so, they actually may make Bitcoin stronger and bring a lot more attention to people in terms of what money is and the differences between the fiat crypto and the Bitcoin cryptocurrency. Bitcoin's getting big, and now we have Time magazine talking about Bitcoin as well. Why is Time magazine talking about Bitcoin? It's because the Starbucks chairman says that cryptocurrency is going to be big, but he doesn't think it's going to be Bitcoin. And so this is very interesting because the Starbucks Corporation chairman, Howard Schultz, says that he believes that cryptocurrency is going to catch on with consumers, though not necessarily Bitcoin. So we can see right now that Starbucks is positioning themselves as being pro-crypto, anti-Bitcoin. Why are they being anti-Bitcoin? Do they really not believe in the Bitcoin BTC token? Do they not believe in the Bitcoin blockchain, which is the strongest and most decentralized blockchain in the world? Maybe they want to create their own Starbucks coin. Maybe they're going to be working with other industry leaders or other regulators, or maybe they're going to be working with the Federal Reserve banks themselves to support a fiat-backed crypto. Huge speculation right there. Let's continue reading. Starbucks is an early adopter of smartphone payments. Starbucks is an early adopter of digital payment technology and has positioned itself to take advantage of the coming years in cryptocurrency and is supporting the underlying technology of the cryptocurrency, which is the blockchain technology. So he's quoted here as saying that he doesn't believe that Bitcoin is going to be a currency today or in the future. Maybe he believes that Bitcoin will be a store of value, but he doesn't see people using Bitcoin to buy and sell coffee at Starbucks in the future. Then he continues on to say, I'm talking about the new technology of blockchain and the possibility of what could happen not in the near term, said Schultz. So he's thinking about the medium term, he's thinking about the long term. He goes on to say a little bit more. He's bringing this up because as we think about the future of our company and the future of consumer behavior, I personally believe that there's going to be one or a few legitimate, trusted digital currencies off of the blockchain technology. So what does legitimate and trusted mean? Does it mean endorsed by the central banks? Does it mean endorsed by the government? Does it mean endorsed by corporate America? So Schultz goes on to say that Starbucks is actually not planning to launch their own version of Bitcoin, added that a trusted consumer brand with brick and mortar locations will help bring legitimacy and trust to the cryptocurrencies. And so Starbucks is saying that they're not going to create their own cryptocurrency. They're also saying that Bitcoin is not going to be the cryptocurrency of the future. And he's saying that cryptocurrency is going to dominate the future. And so does he know of a cryptocurrency in the works? Is he working together with regulators, banks, corporate leaders to help roll out maybe a Fed coin or a Fed note or some sort of cryptocurrency that's actually a distributed ledger system where it would be trusted because the government would have insight, it would be legitimate because corporate America would back that cryptographic token? It's a little ominous. It's really difficult to say where this is going. Although this doesn't look like strong support for Bitcoin, it's really interesting to see how the Bitcoin that we have today, that we know and love, that is being built up with a Lightning Network, may come head to head very soon with some other cryptocurrency that somehow has trust and legitimacy from leaders of the countries, from leaders of the banking institutions, and leaders of corporate America. At the same time, I think there's a huge risk of Bitcoin hyper-Bitcoinization, where Bitcoin can just consume these other tokens, but if Bitcoin does consume these other tokens, it could make countries rich as they introduce their own fiat currency and then convert that cash for their own national reserves in Bitcoin BTC. Real quick, why don't we go pop into 99bitcoins.com and take a look at their list of the top 100 richest Bitcoin addresses. And so number one richest Bitcoin address right here with 179,000 Bitcoin. This person is a billionaire in Bitcoin. We have 3 billionaires holding Bitcoin with 179,000 Bitcoin, 140,000 Bitcoin, and 117,000 Bitcoin. That's a lot of Bitcoin. Then we can see here, if we go down to number 40, they have 27,000 Bitcoin. If we go down to number 70, they have 14,999 Bitcoin. And then number 100 on this list, looks like we have a bunch of people who have 10,000 Bitcoin. And so if you have 10,000 Bitcoin or more, then you're one of the top 100 richest people who have Bitcoin. If you don't have any Bitcoin, it may be interesting to think about getting yourself a little bit of Bitcoin. Because remember, even though some people have dozens or hundreds or thousands or tens of thousands of Bitcoin, you can purchase just a fraction of a Bitcoin. You could purchase 1,000th or 1,000,000th of a Bitcoin. And you can experience what it's like to hold a little bit, to maybe purchase something on one of the many websites out there that accept it, and get involved inside this space yourself. Real quick, let's take a pop into the Bitcoin Lightning Network mainnet. Last we checked, there were maybe about 200 or 250 Lightning nodes running on the Lightning Network. We're up to 341 nodes, 861 payment channels, with about 3.6 Bitcoin sitting across this Lightning Network. So this is continuing to grow, this is continuing to expand, and in the future we could probably expect to see hundreds and hundreds of nodes, if not thousands and thousands of nodes, like we have with the Bitcoin blockchain. So Lightning Network is coming. Lightning Network is being tested. More and more people are setting up their Lightning nodes, and we can expect this to increase Bitcoin's value by lowering the transaction fees, increasing the times to send transactions, how many transactions that Bitcoin can send per second, and also allow a lot more people to get involved with this technology. So that's it for today's show. Thanks for hanging out with me. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think about the situation with the NEM token and them being able to taint the coins? What do you think about this Tether token and the fact that no one really knows how many US dollars Tether has in the bank? What do you think about Litecoin and Monero merging? Is that something that you would back? Is that something that you would support? And if it is, are you going to send out a tweet to Fluffy Pony and Charlie Lee to encourage that to happen? And if you have any thoughts or questions about the UK or the SEC getting involved in Bitcoin, what's happening inside this industry, then feel free to share that with us below as well. And we'll be happy to read your comments and hear what you have to say in the community. Thank you for watching this content and learning about this information with me. Don't forget to tap that like button and subscribe. It encourages us so much and it helps other people find this content. Also, if you're interested in behind-the-scenes access, special rewards, and a direct connection with me and our crypto community, then become our patron at patreon.com/mintingcoins or via our website at mintingcoins.com/join. We look forward to connecting with you because together, we are minting coins.